Liverpool, though, let's focus now on their game against Wolves on the final day at Anfield. Andy, how do they approach this? What will the final day be like for Liverpool? Because we fully expect them to beat Wolves. But again, this is another scenario where, like against Southampton, they rested a lot of players. They just got over the line and got the job done. But they've still got the Champions League final in the back of their mind now. And that is the more likely chance for them to win a big trophy rather than the Premier League, right? So it's a very interesting dilemma, I think, for Jurgen Klopp in terms of team selection and how they really approach this final game.
Yeah, there's no dilemma. If a player's healthy, he's got to play this weekend. He's got to play next weekend.
Really?
You've got 6 full days. This team has played Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, all season long. They've probably played over 60 games already this season, and you've got 2 games to potentially win the 2 trophies, to fill out the quad, to do something that nobody's ever done in the Premier League, the top flight of English football before. You have to go for it. You have to give yourself an opportunity, unless a player is deemed to be at a seriously increased risk of injuring or re-injuring, or just, not having quite the fitness that he needs for the final. If you're able to play this weekend, you got to play. You got to go out there and you got to put in the best performance. I don't think Klopp is going to, concede absolutely anything to Manchester City. I think he's going to want to put the pressure on them, because that's what you have to do as the chaser. You have to create uncomfortable situations for the team that's in the lead. And I think that putting Salah out there, if he's able to go, putting Mane out there, putting, as many of the stars as he can on the field to try and get a couple early goals. Let Man City see, Liverpool are up 3-0. Liverpool are up 4-0. We're still tied 0-0. And then that pressure starts to build mentally, I think, on Manchester City. It's all that Liverpool can do at this point. All they can do is just remind Manchester City, hey, we're here. If you're not going to go and win this thing, we are right here and we are ready to take it. So I don't think we'll see much rotation at all from Klopp, unless he's got players that have been deemed by the trainers, the physios, that if he goes out and plays, might reoccur this injury, might not be available next weekend. That's the only scenario I can see Klopp not picking everybody that he would in a normal situation.
I mean, Nick, these aren't small players that are injured. Virgil van Dijk, Mohamed Salah, even Fabinho is rated at 50% and could return before the Champions League final. Is there a scenario here on how he handles this? He maybe starts with Salah and Van Dijk, and then if City are 2 or 3-0 up at half time, he's like, okay, it's probably not going to happen. Let's take these boys off and rest them for the Champions League final. Or do you just not risk them to start with? Because Klopp's been saying in his press conference ahead of this final game against Wolves, Mo Salah doesn't want to risk it. We don't want to risk it. He understands about the golden boot and going for that on the final day, and he obviously wants to win that. But it's sort of you got to look longer term, right? And to the Champions League final the week after. So I still don't know how he's going to play this. Have you got any ideas or any thoughts on it?
Yeah, I think when it comes to attackers, as good as Salah has been, he hasn't been their most important attacker the second half of the season, and they have guys who can do the job. So I think it may even be something where if the title is in play in the second half, or even at halftime, that Salah comes on. Because they've just got guys and they've got better operators. And ultimately, it's why they're going to win the game, is because Wolves attackers have done very little this year. Raul Jimenez still struggling to find his better self, or his best self, excuse me. There are players like Huang and Podence and these guys who just haven't been at their very best. And there is no X factor, right? Connor Cody is a former Liverpool guy. So I just think it's more likely that if Liverpool is to trip up, it's going to be from the injuries at the back. There's just so much attacking talent on this team. We saw them rotate 9 guys and get a win. So I think they'll get it done.
Yeah, I was actually in the Southampton end for that game, and when I saw the team sheet, I was like, okay, maybe they have a chance, but still, Liverpool's just a machine, and were very in control of that game, even with all of those changes they made. So
yeah. Joe, you can say you saw Southampton play at least the double winners, maybe the treble winners, the quadruple winners, to a 2-1 defeat. That's a really good result.
Hey, that's a much better prediction than anybody else has given Southampton before the game, with the 9-0s floating around and some of the goal difference. But it was interesting, but kind of sobering to think that was essentially Liverpool's D team, and still got a bit of running around. In terms of the game itself at Anfield, Andy, I mean, it's going to be pretty epic, I think. in terms of the filtering down of the news from the stands and the fact that Jurgen Klopp and his staff are going to, I'm sure, have a screen on the side of the Man City Villa game, and they'll be watching. Tension will be high. That's kind of what this is all about, right? This entire season, as we said, has been crazy. It's all going down to the wire. That's going to be really fun, I think, to see that, especially if, Villa do grab an early lead and then the atmosphere goes up a few notches at Liverpool. It's not quite the old transistor radio days where fans would be like listening to it there. They obviously have their smartphones who will probably be watching every kick of City Villa as well. But I'm actually really looking forward to that on the final day of being at Man City, just to hear that back and forth. And that's really fun, isn't it? I love this angle of it up and down the league.
Yeah, I think it's that part of it. We've kind of had that going in the WhatsApp group that we use for PST for about the last month. And I think that has added to the drama and the excitement of, okay, I know Nick is watching this game and this game, so anything coming in from this game is going to be him updating on this. Joe's got this, I've got this, and we're just dropping those updates in there, all the information as it's happening. And what was it, last weekend when there were the games going on with Leeds, Everton, and Burnley, I think all at either the same time or very close to one another, and results just kept swinging in every game from one side to the other. And so the relegation battle would flip upside down. It would, the middle team would drop to the bottom, middle team would go top. Like it's just crazy. There's been so much change, and the fact that it's still so tight, at the top, down at the bottom, multiple spots up and down the table. It's just, can we officially say this is the best Premier League season ever from top to bottom? Because it feels like there's never been anything even close to it.
I think it's just been the most competitive in terms of it's so tight towards the bottom in terms of staying out the relegation zone, that pack of 4 or 5 teams for most of the season. In the middle, it's so evenly matched as well, and teams battling to be in the top 10. And then, there's, again, another band of teams just outside the top 4. And then the title race has been great as well. So I think it's a contender for overall, top to bottom, the best Premier League season that I've ever seen and we've ever witnessed. And it's the 30th Premier League season, so there's a lot to go through. But, I think this is right up there with the very best. I can't remember many seasons where so many things have gone down to the final day of the season, maybe the final week, but there's still a lot up in the air, which is great. Final predictions for the title. Nick Mandola, do Liverpool, Man City win it?
Man City wins it, and it would be really funny if Liverpool were to get it against with Man City faltering because of injuries to the back line, when honestly their defending over the course of the last 5 years hasn't probably gotten as much love as it should have. I think they've led the league in fewest expected goals against for like 5 straight years. And so if they go down because of injuries along the back, I mean, what could you do but throw your hands in the air?
Andy, do you agree with that? City going to get over the line?
Yeah, I think they will. The first 20 or 30 minutes maybe will be a little bit nervy, and we'll start to question, could this happen? Is this on right now? But I think ultimately they do get over the line.
Me too. I think it's going to be tighter than we all expect, because that's just what this season has delivered throughout the whole 370 games now we've had leading into this final weekend. So I do think City will get the job done, but they'll leave it late and they'll just make their fans suffer just a little bit more for that title. So more tension, more drama on the final day of the Premier League season. We'll keep you updated with all the latest news from the Premier League title battle between Liverpool and Manchester City. It's going down to the wire, and over on Pro Soccer Talk on NBCSports.com. We'll have live analysis. I'll be at the Etihad Stadium. I'm so excited, gents. I can't wait. I'm going to go out to Manchester straight after we film this, I think, just to get ready and to soak up the atmosphere.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe, studio host for NBC's coverage of the Premier League. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch highlights all season long, and be sure to tune in for Premier League mornings every weekend at 7 a.m. Eastern. And for even more content, head over to Peacock, where we've got live games, original series, and a dedicated round-the-clock Premier League channel featuring studio shows, classic matches, and much more.